Tem que ser mais agressivo só, você entendeu? Tem que entrar no afundão, Bruno. Tipo aquele pé. Isso aí, igual o Rafael. É mais difícil pra ele, vai.
So you are very motivated to get the belt back.
Absolutely. I can't wait for this moment to happen again, and it's going to be a very different fight. That day was not the same Alex Pereira, so if come the regular Alex Pereira, it's already more than that. But imagine now if it's different.
Каким ты видишь повторный реванш, как он пройдет?
Ну, я думаю, реванш пройдет намного легче, чем первый бой, так как статистика говорит всегда, реванши со мной выходить это очень опасно.
What happens if Ankalaev beats Pereira again? That is not an easy question that I just asked you. Now, do you want to see that fight?
Magomed Ankalaev is looking confident once again as he sends a clear warning to Alex Pereira ahead of their rematch. However, Poden is also not holding back and is willing to get his belt back, so both fighters are set to compete once again for the light heavyweight titles at UFC 320 on October 4th, and the fans can't wait for this mega clash.
All right, UFC 320, October 4th, T-Mobile, Las Vegas. Magomed Ankalaev defends his belt against Alex Pereira. Ankalaev hasn't lost in 7 years. He has the second longest win streak in the UFC light heavyweight division behind who?
Alex Pereira shares that he is highly motivated to get the belt back from Magomed Ankalaev. He admitted that the result of their first encounter was contested, with some people believing Ankalaev won and others believing he did. Pereira argued that a draw would have been fair and would have left him as champion. He explained that the version of himself that fought that night was not the real Alex Pereira, but that the upcoming rematch would show a different fighter. Pereira stressed that he did not need a knockout this time, claiming his overall game was strong enough to impose his will on Ankalaev in any area of the fight.
Back to Magomed. When you see the footage of him going home with the belt that was yours, and all the hoopla and stuff, how does that make you feel?
People say that he won, people say that he lost, people say that I win, like very contested, right? Why you don't give it a draw and a left to the belt?
So you are very motivated to get the belt back.
Absolutely. I can't wait for this moment to happen again, and it's going to be a very different fight. That day was not the same Alex Pereira, so if come the regular Alex Pereira, it's already more than that. But imagine now if it's different. Doesn't have to be a knockout, but I feel that I have enough game to do whatever I want with this guy.
On the other hand, Ankalaev revealed he has always been ready for a rematch with Alex Pereira. Even after his UFC 313 victory, he immediately expressed willingness to fight again whenever Pereira wanted. He explained that during the first fight, he maintained constant pressure while Pereira spent most of the 20 minutes evading him. Ankalaev noted Pereira questioned why he was declared the winner, despite Ankalaev's dominance. He welcomed the rematch, hoping that this time, Pereira competes seriously instead of running for the entire fight.
I was confident, I kept on moving forward, I kept the pressure in him, and he kept on running away from me. You know, for 20 minutes, this guy was running away from me. And then I heard at the end of the fight, he was saying that, you know, he wasn't sure why the victory was given to me. Who's supposed to be given the victory? You know, I've been pressuring him the entire time. He was running for 20 minutes, and then he's wondering who's supposed to get the victory. Listen, I'm happy for a rematch if he wants a rematch, but then maybe in the rematch he could fight for real, not just run away the entire time.
Magomed Ankalaev also warned that this rematch with Alex Pereira would be easier than their first fight. He noted that statistics show facing him in a rematch is always risky, and he expects Pereira to realize that again. When asked about avoiding takedowns after outstriking Pereira previously, Ankalaev said anything is possible. He emphasized that he will use whatever strategy is necessary to dominate and doesn't foresee issues in any area.
Каким ты видишь повторный реванш, как он пройдет?
Ну, я думаю, реванш пройдет намного легче, чем первый бой, так как статистика говорит всегда, реванши со мной выходить это очень опасно. Я думаю, мы подтвердим то же самое, что со мной не стоит выходить на реванш.
Может быть, в этот раз вообще не стоит пытаться перевести Алекса, потому что ты, в принципе, перебивал его стойки.
Все может быть. Я буду делать все, чтобы доминировать. Если бороться, надо будет бороться, биться стойки. Я думаю, у нас не будет проблем нигде.
Magomed Ankalaev stated that he wants Alex Pereira fully fit for their rematch, leaving no room for excuses. He noted that after their first fight, some claimed Pereira wasn't fully prepared, and he won't accept that again. Ankalaev mentioned seeing Pereira training extensively, repeatedly being taken down and getting back up, showing he's ready for that scenario. He added that he might not even attempt takedown since Pereira expects them, but emphasized it doesn't matter. His goal is to face the best version of Pereira and ensure a decisive outcome.
Ты видел отрывки тренировок Алекса Перейры, где его там борют, он встает постоянно, то есть очевидно он готовится к тому, что будет вставать постоянно.
Да, вполне возможно, что я не буду его переводить. Может, он это делает зря. Ну, пускай делает, готовится. Я, наоборот, хочу, чтобы он подходил к этому бою на 100% готов, чтобы у него не оставались вопросы по поводу поединка, чтобы не было таких разговоров, как в прошлом бою, что не был готов или что-то было не сделано. Я хочу, чтобы он подошел в хорошей форме и после нашего поединка, чтобы у него не было оправданий.
Meanwhile, the pros are excited for this rematch. Andrew Tate believes Alex Pereira will come back stronger in the rematch. He recalled that they were once scheduled to fight back in the Showtime days, though Pereira ended up facing someone else. Tate praised Pereira's experience and mental toughness, noting that he knows how to learn from wins and losses and use them to improve. He added that Pereira is widely admired and loved by fans, and that he is confident Pereira will return even better.
Last thing, I saw you and your brother in Vegas over the weekend. Do you have any words for Pereira? He took a loss, like any maybe words of encouragement?
Pereira's an OG. Pereira fought Sahak Papayan, and I was supposed to fight Pereira a long time ago, but he ended up fighting Sahak instead back in the It's Showtime days. So him and I have been fighting way back when. So he's been around. He knows the game. Yeah. He understands you win some, you lose some. You either use it to come back stronger and better and learn something, or you use it to destroy you. It's like everything in life, right? So I think he already knows exactly what to do. The world loves him. He knows that.
You think he'll win the rematch?
I think he'll be back. Yeah, the world loves him. He's a loved guy. He'll be back.
However, Chelsonen believes Alex Pereira wasn't genuinely interested in the rematch with Magomed Ankalaev. He noted that historically, fights don't get made when the challenger isn't fully invested, and he couldn't recall a time when a fighter agreed to a bout without showing full commitment or publicly expressing their desire to win. Sonnen stressed that a true contender puts everything on hold and sacrifices completely for a fight, implying that Pereira's lack of visible urgency was unusual for someone in his position.
Big Unk has been calling out Pierre, which it just doesn't usually work that way. And there was so little interest from Pierre's side, at least publicly, that I wasn't sure they were gonna do that. I can't remember a time in history. I mean, I'll go as far as that. I don't know a time in history when a fight got made and the challenger didn't ask for it. When the challenger wasn't into it, where the challenger wasn't letting it be known that I'm putting my entire life on hold, nothing matters, complete sacrifice so I can beat this man. I don't remember that ever.
Chelsonen also discussed the stakes if Alex Pereira were to win the rematch, emphasizing the importance of settling the score. He questioned whether fans would come back to watch the fight 2 more times, noting that honoring the outcome is the only respectable path. Sonnen explained that if Pereira wins, he has already defeated the top competition, and a loss would clarify his path. Ultimately, Pereira would then move into heavyweight division, achieving what he has wanted all along.
Will you come out and support and watch and be into the fight 2 more times? Because if Pereira wins, that's the only honorable thing to do, right? You gotta settle the score. Pereira knows this better than anybody. So, what do you do in that case? I mean, if Pereira wins, and we gotta go back to Unk. If Pereira wins and we're not going to go with Unk, anybody in that top stratosphere, Pereira's already beat. And with a loss, the answer for Pierre will be very clear. And it will be what he's wanted all along. He now joins the heavyweight division.
Den Thomas also gave his thoughts on Alex Pereira's chances of winning another UFC title despite his age. Known for being critical of older fighters, Thomas admits Pereira is an exception. He explained that Pereira's fighting style actually worked in his favor since he didn't rely heavily on footwork or wrestling. Instead, Pereira's power allowed opponents to walk into his shots. Thomas added that this approach meant Pereira avoided excessive wear and tear both in training and during fights, giving him a better chance to compete at a high level for longer. Den Thomas said, "There's no one in MMA harder on older fighters than I am. I've said it about Kamaru Usman and all these other guys as they get older. I've said it's too late for them, but I think Alex Pereira is the exception in this case. He's got a style that actually helps him in terms of his age. He doesn't move his feet a lot, he doesn't wrestle a lot, and he's just got that power that guys run into. So he's not putting a lot of wear and tear on his body in training, and he definitely doesn't put a lot of wear and tear on his body during fights." Den Thomas also called the lightweight as one of the worst and weakest divisions in UFC at the moment. He feels that due to low competition in this division, Alex Pereira could stay relevant without another fight. He believes Pereira deserves an immediate rematch with Magomed Ankalaev, as no one else in the division truly warrants the matchup. Den Thomas added, "Alex is in one of the top 3 worst divisions in the UFC, which means he probably doesn't even need to fight again to stay relevant. He should get an immediate rematch because there's no one else in the division that really warrants a fight against Magomed Ankalaev." Den Thomas further shared that while he isn't sure Alex Pereira can do anything drastically different in the rematch, he believes Pereira is always one punch away from changing a fight's outcome. He added that in a full 25-minute rematch with Magomed Ankalaev, Pereira might land that decisive strike, making an immediate rematch his best chance to win. Den Thomas added, "I know that the biggest question right now is whether Alex can do something different. I'm not sure he can do anything different, but I do think that maybe he's always one punch away from changing the course of a fight. That's why I think that if you give him another 25 minutes against Ankalaev, he might find that punch. I think his best chance of winning that fight is to be able to find that punch. I think he should get an immediate rematch." Moreover, Arman Tsarukyan wasn't surprised by Alex Pereira's loss to Magomed Ankalaev and expects a similar outcome if they face again. He explained that Ankalaev's striking, especially his left hook and kicks, makes him extremely dangerous. Arman noted that Pereira struggled early with leg kicks, which forced him to adjust his stance and strategy. He believes the fight could go several rounds, but overall sees Ankalaev maintaining the upper hand, though he admitted some rounds were too close to call.
What do you think of the main event, Magomed Ankalaev beating Alex Pereira?
I know that Ankalaev gonna beat him if it's not lucky punch. We know like Pereira, he's so dangerous. He has a good left hook and kicks, leg kicks. But first round he started with leg kicks, and I was scared like again they're gonna like kill his legs, and then he gotta change his stand. But then he could change his game. He started to go forward and he won last, I think, 4 rounds.
So you scored it for Magomed?
3-2. 5 was like even 50-50, you know, you never know.
Former UFC champion Demetrius Johnson is looking for a close fight this time, as he commented that the first Alex Pereira vs Magomed Ankalaev encounter was a boring fight. He felt the 5-round fight ended too quietly and lacked excitement. Johnson noted that Ankalaev had executed a very smart strategy, controlling the pace and forcing Pereira to react. He also pointed out a pattern in Pereira's past fights, mentioning that many of his bouts began with leg kicks, highlighting a strategic but predictable approach.
Ankalaev taking on Alex Pereira. I felt it was very anticlimactic. Like when the fight was over, I was like, God, that was it? Was that 5 rounds? So is it over? And when I think like that, I feel that Ankalaev played a very, very smart strategy game. Meaning that when you look at Alex Pereira, he has 2 ways to go about his fight. Look at all his fights. Even from the Sean Strickland to the Izzy Adesanya to Khalil Roundtree, Yuri Prochazka, both those fights. You look at all those fights, it always starts off by the leg kick. He wants a reaction.
Heavyweight fighter Curtis Blaydes picks Alex Pereira, citing both Pereira's recovery from injury and overcoming an illness similar to one Blaydes experienced. He emphasizes that as long as Pereira is healthy, he favors him to win.
I'm gonna go with Pereira because of the injury, and also I heard he had this same illness that I had, and I know how that belts. So yeah, as long as he's healthy, yeah, I go with Pereira.
Welterweight fighter Carlos Prates believes Alex Pereira will win in a potential rematch. He explained that Pereira has had time to review his mistakes and correct them, and now he expects Pereira to step into the cage fully prepared and secure a knockout victory.
I think Pereira gonna win. You know, he got a break on his career. You know, he saw all his mistakes, you know, and fix everything, and now I think he's gonna step on the cage and gonna knock Ankalaev out.
Chase Hopper leans toward Magomed Ankalaev, predicting he'll likely rely more on grappling to secure the win. He admits he was surprised by how effectively Ankalaev was outstriking Alex Pereira.
Probably Ankalaev. I think he'll probably grapple a little more and again just get that win. I was surprised at how well he was outstriking Alex, to be honest.
UFC middleweight Eric Anders backs Alex Pereira for the rematch, believing he'll be much less tentative this time. Anders expects Pereira to have improved his takedown defense and overall wrestling, allowing him to stay on his feet more effectively. He adds that Pereira's increased focus should give him the edge, possibly even leading to a finish.
I'm gonna go Alex Pereira. I think he's gonna be a lot less tentative. Hopefully he's working on his takedown defense as we speak. And his, you know, defensive wrestling and, you know, being able to get up when he gets taken down and whatnot. But I just think he was very tentative, and I don't know what the issue was. You know, he was like traveling around and, you know, doing his thing for publicity and whatnot. But I think he'll be more focused for this next fight, and I think he'll edge it out or, you know, finish him.
Lightweight heavyweight Julius Walker also weighed in on the Pereira vs. Ankalaev rematch, recalling that he attended their first fight at UFC 313. He described the bout as somewhat lackluster, but noted that both fighters have the tools to win. Walker believes Ankalaev could edge out another victory if he pressures Pereira early, keeps him on the back foot, and controls him against the cage. Predicting a likely Abu Dhabi location, Walker leans toward Ankalaev winning by decision again.
Man, so interestingly enough, dude, I was actually at Pereira and Ankalaev the first fight.
Oh, nice.
I was there at UFC 313 for that, and it's a little bit of a lackluster fight, but I feel like Pereira has all the tools to win that fight, but also Ankalaev does too. Ankalaev has a little bit more tools to win. If I'm Ankalaev, I would come out and really put the pressure on Pereira, get him going on the back foot, and honestly continue to use that where he holds him on the cage. Because if Pereira doesn't show some urgency and in terms of getting off the cage, then, you know, Ankalaev is going to eke out another decision. So if I have to pick, especially because it sounds like you said they haven't announced it yet, and it sounds like I would assume it'll probably be in Abu Dhabi. So I'm going with Ankalaev by decision again.
Julius Walker further reacted after knowing that the rematch will take place in Las Vegas, but said he doesn't put much stock in hometown judging. He believes Ankalaev will fight smart, using cage control to win rounds. Walker noted that in the first fight, Pereira lacked urgency to escape the cage, which Ankalaev can exploit. He also praised Ankalaev's striking, saying all he needs to do is maintain volume, avoid getting knocked out, and he should secure the victory.
Ankalaev Pereira's in Vegas, is my understanding.
Ooh, okay. Even so, I don't believe too heavily in the whole hometown judges thing. I'm sure it is a thing, but I just think that Ankalaev is gonna fight smart and is gonna he's gonna use the cage control to win the rounds, because in the first fight, even though he wasn't able to take down Pereira, Pereira didn't show enough urgency in getting off the cage. So I think Ankalaev is going to know that. And man, Ankalaev is a really solid striker and he hits hard. And I think he's going to back Pereira up. All he's really got to do to win this fight, in my opinion, is throw volume and not get knocked out. And I think he's smart enough to do that.
So, that wraps up today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it. Share your predictions on the Alex Pereira vs. Magomed Ankalaev rematch in the comment section, and make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.